Girl, like a mother, always such a black rock and roll. Played it all in her head. God forbid she picked up a guitar, joined a rock and roll band to make it real far.
Hello everyone, it's time for some hands-on history. I made a purchase today and I wanted to compare it to another antique that I have. This is one I've had for a while. This is a Mawson Nagant 9130 made in the Tula Armory in 1940. It is pre-war, as you can see, safety checked. And if you look at it closely, you can see it's very well machined. Everything's nice and smooth, very well made. It's got, let's see if I can show you the stamps on it. It's got very well-defined stamps. There, and my camera might focus on it. I'll put up a picture of it. And it's a very beautiful rifle. Ignore the paracord. The problem with this rifle is the little band here, the spring on it, the bottom one. I think when it was laying in Cosmoline for probably like 40 years, it was laying on the spring, so this back one doesn't work. So in order to keep this handguard from moving, I've wrapped it in paracord when I'm shooting it. But like I said, as you can see, everything's very smooth. It's a very pretty rifle. I mean, ignoring the fact that these were outdated, far outdated by the time, antiquated, I should say, by the time that they were put to use in World War II, it is a very nice looking rifle. It's a long gun. I mean, it's more of the traditional, it's a little longer than most rifles, like the K98 or the Enfield, which is more traditional with further back in history. And it uses a very long spike bayonet that was almost always fixed. I mean, they didn't take the spike bayonet off unless they were going to fight in the city. And actually, they started making new rifles, the M44 and the M38, that was shorter for city fighting, and it had a fold-out bayonet. But the traditional 9130, almost always the bayonet was fixed. And like I said, these were antiquated by the time. In fact, they converted older rifles like the Dragoon, which is a very similar rifle, into these. I mean, you can really see how expendable the Russian troops were when you look at the rifle. I mean, I'm not down on the rifle. It works just fine. It's very simple machining. But if you compare it to the K98 or the Enfield, many safety features are missing. I mean, the safety on this is you pull this back and rotate it like that, which is kind of hard to do. And how you disable safety is you do the process in reverse, which is not something I'd want to do under fire. The bolt sticks a lot. It's a slat bolt, so it's not smooth. It's real hard, but it works. It's effective. They are extremely accurate, though, because of the length of the barrel and the round, which is 7.62 by 5.4R. And people think the R means Russian. It actually means rimmed, because it is a rimmed cartridge. You can see at the end here. It is very, very accurate, extremely accurate, which is why Russian snipers did so well. But it is crude. These troops really didn't know how expendable they were. These rifles were being churned out at an amazing rate, and they were very old design, nothing special, no safety features. They're rugged, but accurate. You can also get a sense of what the Russian people were like at the time. It's a very short stock. I know many people who can't shoot these rifles because the stock is too short. The Russian people were not big people. That's alright with me because I'm a short bastard, but some people, like my friend Les, he can't shoot these things because they're too short. Now we're going to move on to the one that I purchased today. Now, I opened up a retail store. I shouldn't say I opened up. I helped my friend open up a retail store. I work for his business, and he opened it up with an FFL dealer that we're friends with. And I decided to be the first gun purchase at the our new store. And I saw this rifle out of all the Nagants he had. He had about 4, and immediately I knew something was up with it. Something was different. You could see, unlike the other one, it's just a straight hole in the stock. On this one, which is pre-war, see, it's got a little fancy metal piece there. I was like, huh. And that's what caught my eye first. And the same with the front one. There would be a metal piece on the one I just showed you, but there's just one little bar on here. So I don't know. And I immediately went over to it, and I started looking at it. And I realized this is a war model. This was something that was produced during the war. And I looked at the date, 1943. And you can see that it looks like it was bashed on there. It looks like it was almost just an afterthought. Same with the even the on the volley sight. I mean, the first couple numbers aren't really even there. Well, they're there, but they're hard to see. And if you look at I'm sure you could go back in the video. You saw how smooth that was. Look at the machining on this. I mean, this part is smooth. On the other one, this part is smoothed out and it's kind of concave. This one, it's just lopped off. It's like the machinists were... They must have taken, like, no time to do that at all. It was just whacked off. I wonder if I can get a side-by-side of that. It's going to be difficult, but... Okay, because my ceiling's low. You see how different that is? It's amazing. And I'll show you the bolts on these, too. It's so unbelievably crude, this war model. I mean, it's so crude that I won't be shooting it. It's a piece of history. You could see how much pressure the German army was putting on the Russians. Sorry, I'm still a little sick. I'm going to show you the detail on this. Now, this is from the pre-war model. See, it has a little detail on it. And see, right in here, that's smooth in there. It's smooth in that one. Now, this is the pre-war, where they had time to machine things. This is during the war. Everything's just like an afterthought. And look in there. It's rough. It's crap machining. It's really amazing that you can see this. Even here, here's another example. Now, look at how this one right here, you see how that is very high tolerance machining. The ridge there is very, you can barely see the ridge on my camera in there. This one, look at that gap in there. It's really amazing how they went from very nicely machined rifles, quality machine, to their German army is just breathing down their necks. They're flinging these things out at amazing rates. I mean, like I said before, these troops really didn't know how expendable they were at that point. They were cannon fodder. I won't be firing this rifle because of that. It's quite possible that the metal they used wasn't as good. And it's stuck. Shit. So, it's really a living piece of history, this gun. And it's just amazing to me how you could just see how it progressed. And another reason I bought this is the one I had was from the Tula Armory in Russia. This one is from the Izeki. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. But so I have one from each armory, and it's just a real piece of history. I mean, you could just look at it and see how crudely machined it was, and how scared they must have been at the time to have to just abandon all of their machining techniques, just throw everything to the wind just to get these rifles out so that they could survive. And, well, that's about all I got to say on that. Of course, I got the bayonets for each of them. I'll show one more thing. This is 1945, but this was something was very antiquated at the time. This was antiquated by World War I when this was used. This is a Nagant revolver. It's the only one like it, only revolver like it in the world. I've shown it off before on my channel. watch the cylinder. It moves forward to make a gas seal with the barrel. It's the only revolver like that in the world. And this thing's very crude, but they produced it all throughout World War I, World War II, pre-World War I, during the Tsarist era. This is the revolver that, what's his name was shot with, the Russian mystic. I can't think of his name right now, but this is the revolver he was shot with. It's really amazing history behind these things. But that's about all I have. This one was also Tula Armory. You'd see the Tula symbol on there. But that's about all I've got. Thanks for watching.